Hello again, frame number 3. So, what is different about this frame? Well, there are two actual differences here. First, we have a distributed load in an inclined member, which is, you're gonna see what happened, but it's gonna basically produce two inclined loads, one shear, distributed shear, and one distributed axial, which I imagine this is the first time that you are seeing that, if this is the first time that you are taking this class. And the second one is that you have this force now here, which is, and what is here? Here is exactly concentrated at the joint. So that load do not belong to this member or to that member. It's applied at the joint. Now, for this particular situation, analysis of the joint is a requirement. Well, even though you don't write it, even if you do it in your mind, it's a requirement. So the first thing, check if it's statically determinate or indeterminate. Obviously, this is statically determinate. Second step, let's calculate the reactions. I know this is AX and it has to go to the left, to the left, to the left. Why to the left? Because this is 25, this is 15, so I need something extra over there. And this is AY and this is DY over here. Okay, first calculation of reactions. Summation of forces in X equals 0. Then you have negative AX plus 25 minus 15 equals 0. AX equals 10 kip. Done. Bam. Summation of forces, no. Summation of moments at A equals 0. Right here. Let me put this rectangular load and let me put the equivalent distributed, the equivalent concentrated load coming from that is the area. 30 times 1.2 is 36 kip, and the location is half of the distance, so this is gonna be 15 feet over there. So now we have every single thing that we need. 25 times 20, 25 times 20, rotation negative according to this convention, so negative. 36 times 15, apply the force, rotation in this direction, what is that? Negative. 15 times 15, positive. dy times 30, positive, equals 0. Solve for it. dy equals 500 minus 36 times 15 plus 225, 815 divided by 30, 27.16. Right, it's negative, but remember I have to pass it to the other side. 27.16, periodic, repeated, kips. Done. Summation of forces in Y equals 0. AY minus 36 plus dy equals 0, and this is dy. So AY is going to be equal to 8.83 repeated kip. Next step. Which one is the next step? Do you watch the other two videos? Tell me which one is the next step. What? No. Next step is verify your reactions. Check your reactions. How? Well, you can check your reactions by doing summation of moments in a place that you don't eliminate any of the preferable, in a place that you don't eliminate any of the forces or any of the reactions that you calculated. For example, I can do summation of moments any point here. Why not here? Because I'm eliminating dy. Can I do it here at the center? Yes, you can do it at the center, right there, if you want to. Any point. I know the reactions are correct because I verify them. And every time that I say I'm gonna do a smaller video, shorter video, the video is bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the reason is I'm explaining everything. So now, Once you have the reactions, the second step, after verifying your reactions, of course, is the member and forces. We have to do that. Now let's start with this member here. This member here is here. This is AY. AY is 8.83. And then you have AX. AX is 10. And I don't have anything else. And this is 20. But I'm going to make the cut just before touching that joint because the load is at the joint and I'm not interested right now here at checking the joint. So at the end of this here, I'm going to have three: the axial, the shear, and the moment. And you can call it BX, BY, BZ, BX, BY, and MB here. And we can do summation of forces in X, Y, and Z in order to calculate that, but I'm not gonna write it, right? I mean, this is very clear here what the reactions are and the direction. So this one is gonna be 8.83 summation of forces in Y, or summation of forces in X1 direction, depending on what you want to do. So remember, this is the local coordinate system. If I use this, I'm gonna say summation of forces in X1 equals 0, so this equal to this one. Summation of forces in Y1 equals 0, so this one equals to this one. And now summation of moment, so I have to calculate that moment. If I do moment here, this doesn't produce anything. This is going to be equal to 10 times 20, which is 200, so this moment is going to be 200 acting opposite, or in the direction that I put it, but opposite to the force, 200 kip per foot. Okay, now, instead of passing directly to the member BC, what we are doing now is we are studying the joint. And believe me, I have been doing this for some time. I'm pretty sure that a little bit more than you have. Might be wrong, but I think so. And I still do that. So I put my joint B here, like that. And then I apply these forces opposite to whatever I obtain here. So this is going to be 10. This is going to be 8.83. And this moment is going to be acting in this way. Then it was acting like that. Now I'm going to be acting like this. And this is equal to 200. And I don't need to put the moment because I'm doing at one point and I don't have a concentrated moment. But be used to that, because in this problem I only have a force. But if I have a moment, a concentrated moment, then I have to put the moment there. Now, I'm going to put here the force applied at the joint. If I had a moment applied at the joint, I will put it here also. And now I'm going to check what happened here with the rest of the forces. Now, this one here, for equilibrium, this has to be 8.83, opposite to this one. The moment, because there's nothing else changing it, it has to be in this direction and it has to be 200. Now, what about this force? Now, in order for this joint to be in equilibrium, I need something here, that force. And that force is going to be 25 minus 10, 15, acting in that direction. Now, these forces are the ones that we are going to transfer to the second member, to the member BC. Now, let's go to the member BC. Member BC. Force. This is B, this is C. This is 30 feet. I'm all over the place with the scaling. And this is 10. Look at that nice scaling, 30 here and 10 here. Now these forces, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, that's what they say. I see my drawings and I see them beautiful. So, how do I do this? I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna put it here just for you to see. Okay, you see that? Now, what do I have to do? I have to transport these forces to this end. This 15 is gonna go in this way. This 8.83 is gonna go in that way. And this moment, I'm sorry, this moment is gonna be acting in this way. Do you have to do this? No, you could have done it directly with this and that. And you say, oh, the moment comes like this, it's gonna come opposite there. This force is gonna come down, it's gonna go up there. And this force is gonna be 25 and 10. Well, if it is 25 pushing in that direction, and this is 10 pushing in this direction, the total thing is gonna be pushing in that direction, this member 15. You can do it like that if you want to. Okay? Now we have that. Now, once we have that, we can come here and we can calculate these forces here, the end force member here. Now this is going to be equal 3 times 1.2, we say that 36 keep, and this distance is 15. So if I do summation of forces in x equals 0, if we do summation of forces in x equals 0 here, what do you get? Summation of forces in x equals 0. I have 15, cx equals 15. I'm going to put it here. Now I'm going to have this other force here acting here, cy, and I'm going to have a moment here, mc also. So if I do summation of forces in y equals 0 now, what do you get? 8.83 minus 36 plus cy equals 0. cy equals 27.16 keep. Guys, please, 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 when you put this in the calculator, don't put 8.83. I mean, it might be my OCD talking here, but put everything 8.83333333. You don't do the calculation. The calculator do that for you. So keep all the decimal places that you can keep, and you are gonna save yourself from a possible dilemma at the end of the problem, because sometimes you approximate so much that your diagrams are not closing in 0 as they are supposed to. Okay, next, summation of moments at C equals 0. And then if I do moment here, I have negative 8.83 times this distance, which is 30, plus 15 times 10, this force times this distance, right? Like that, 10, 15 times 10, minus 200, this one, minus 200, plus 36 times 15, minus mc equals 0. And mc is going to be equal to negative 8.8333333333 times 30 plus 150 minus 200 plus 36 times 15 equals 225. And this is negative here, so when I pass it to the other side, it's going to be positive, 225. There you go. Yes, beautiful, nice, amazing. But what happened? This is not parallel and perpendicular to the axis, so how I'm going to do this for my shear moment diagram? I have to compare those forces parallel and perpendicular to this one. And it's okay, let's do that. I remember when I studied this a long time ago, when the world was black and white, I I have an HP41 calculator, and I created a small software just to do this conversion, unit conversion. That's it. Now look what happened here. This load, I know it's producing a load like that of 36. We know that. But this is not the load that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a load that should be acting like this, and another load that should be acting like that. And how do I do these two loads? Well, I need this angle first of all. I always need this angle alpha. How much is that angle alpha? Nobody moves. I haven't calculated alpha. Alpha, this is alpha here. How much is this distance? Well, this is 30 and this is 20, means this is 10. Alpha is inverse tangent of 10 divided by 30. 10 divided by 30. That's gonna be alpha, inverse tangent of that. So alpha is something. Alpha 10 divided by 30 inverse tangent 18.43 degrees. Alpha equals 18.43 degrees. You can use triangular ratios if you want to. I'm more kind of in this type of problems of an angle guy. So if this angle is alpha, let's study what happened here. If this is alpha, this is 90 degrees, right? So this is gonna be 90 minus alpha, meaning this angle here is gonna be alpha again. This angle here is gonna be alpha again. That over there. Oh, I don't see that. Well, you don't see that, then see it. How do you see that? Let me see. What if I do this? Just for you to see it. This is alpha, right? So how much is this? Alpha. Alternate internal angles. And if this is 90 degrees, this is 90 minus alpha. And if this is 90 degrees again, this is alpha. There you go. Now you have alpha over there. Meaning this force here is going to be 36 cosine alpha. And this force here is going to be 36 sine alpha. Because this one is the equivalent of this one on that side. And why am I doing this and this again and again and again and saying that? Well, what I'm doing here and I'm saying that is because in the same way that this is a concentrated load coming from a distributed load, and this load is not real like that because it's a distributed load, these two loads are not real like that because they are supposed to be distributed loads. So I'm going to copy it here again. And what I'm going to do is that this force is coming from a rectangular distributed load acting here, which is going to be a component of that one. And how do I do that? Well, in order for calculating this, we took the area of that. Now this is going to be the area of this. And I know the length, or I should know the length at least. How much is that length? This length here. That length L is going to be the square root of 10 squared plus 30 squared. Meaning that length is going to be, I don't know if I have that value somewhere else. Not that I need it, but yeah, 31.62 feet. That's that length over there. 31.62 feet. So this distance is 31.62. Now what you do here basically is doing the opposite of you did when you calculated that. My resultant force, 36 cosine alpha, has to be equal to the area of this, and the area of this is 31.62 multiplied by the value of the shear distributed load. And then you can calculate that value from here. And that value is going to be 36 cosine 18.43 divided by 31.62. That's gonna be 1.08 kip. 1.08 kip per foot. There you go. Now this is not all. This load here is not a concentrated load. This load is also an axial distributed load, meaning that load, it will be a rectangular load, but it's acting something like this. I know it's difficult to visualize it, but it is like that. It is kind of when you have the self weight of a member hanging from there. That's distributed, that's not concentrated, right? So the same thing is happening here. So how do you do that? This is 1.08 right here. Now I do the same thing, but now I do with the horizontal one. So then I say, what is this? Nothing. They are calling me for a meeting. They don't know I'm busy with you guys. So this is gonna be 36 sine alpha has to be equal to the length 31.62 times the height of this horizontal incline, horizontal distributed, rectangular distributed load. So that value is going to be, in other words, you get this and divided by the length. That's it. Divided by 31.62. That's going to be 0.36 kip per foot. Now this part here is one of the main differences with this frame, of this frame compared with the other ones. Now we are not done, because we have to do all this conversion here, and we can do it here, or we can do it here. It's the same thing. Now let's try to do it here. So once again, if this is alpha, this is 90 minus alpha, this angle here is going to be alpha. Now this 8.83 is basically these two forces. I'm going to use two different colors. This and that. That's going to be it. This force here is going to be 8.83. It's opposite, right? So it's sine 8.83 sine alpha, and that one there is 8.83 cosine alpha. Now if we go to this other one here, the 15 load, we can do the same thing. Actually that should be acting here like that. So then we do the same thing. This one is gonna be this and this. Those are gonna be the two components. This angle is alpha. This angle here is 90 minus alpha, meaning this angle here is alpha again. And you can see this because they are also opposed by the vertex angles. So that one is going to be 15, this is 15, right? And this is alpha, and I'm looking at the adjacent. So that one is going to be 15 cosine alpha, and this one here is going to be 15 sine alpha. Now these two, when I'm going to put the forces from this mesh and I'm going to transfer those forces here, what I have to do is just add or subtract the forces, the corresponding forces. Let's use the vertical ones. So these two, this is negative 15 sine of 18.43 plus 8.833333 times cosine of 18.43. So that value is going to be this minus this is going to have a resultant force of, I don't know if I did the calculation or not. Let me do that again. 15 cosine alpha, 15 cosine alpha, 15, what am I, 15 sine alpha, 15 sine alpha is 4.74 down. Let me put the values here. 4.74. And this green is gonna go with this green, which is 8.83 cosine alpha. That's 8 point. No, I put the angle wrong here. 8.833333 times cosine 18.43, not 14.43. So 8.38. 8.38. So the resultant force here is going to be this minus that, and it will be acting in this direction, and that's going to be 8.30. No, it's 8.38, not 8.36, minus 4.74, 3.64, 3.6, 3.64, that one. Now, when we do the other one, the horizontal one, this one, 15 cosine alpha is 14.23, and this one, 8.83 sine alpha is 2.79, meaning these two are going in the same direction, so they're going to be added together, and this is going to be plus 14.23, 17.02, 17.02. That's it. That's the most complicated part, in my opinion. Or they say it's not complicated, but it's where you can mess up the easiest. Now, if I want to calculate these ones, well, there's no problem with that, right? If I want to calculate these ones, I just have to do summation of forces. Remember, our local coordinate axes are like that. So I can say summation of forces with respect to x2. Well, it's going to be negative 17.02, I mean positive 17.02 plus minus this value, that value. Let me put these values here so you can, when you review it, 36 cosine 18.43, that value is 34.15, and this value 36 sine 18.43, and that's 11.38. That's that value. So if I'm looking at this one is going to be one force, summation of forces in this direction equals 0. So I'm going to have a force acting here. Why acting here? Because this is, no, it's coming in this way, right? It's coming this way, so it's going to be acting in the opposite way. Let's do it. Summation of forces in the x2 direction equals 0. X2 direction. So I have 17, like that, 17.02 minus this force, which is 11.384, minus that one will be, how is that called? Cx2 equals 0, and then you can calculate that Cx2 as 17 17.02. That's a 5.6. Hopefully 5.6, 5.6, 5.64, 5.64. That value acting in this way, 5.64. Now we do summation of forces in the y2 direction. This direction, in y2 direction, meaning, yeah, in this way. So I have 3.64 minus this one. Remember this one here, I should have put this here, 34.15, and this one is 11.384. So 3.64 minus 34.15 plus this one, and this one, it will be cy2 equal 0. So cy2 is going to be equal to 34.15 minus 3.64 is 30.51. Remember the units, guys. Remember the Alamo. This is Kips. 30.51. And the moment, hallelujah, we don't have to do anything. You just have to calculate it. And the calculation of the moment, we did it here, and it was 225. So we don't have to do anything else because it was already done before, and the moment is the same moment. It's not going to change. So the moment is 225. Now if you want to, you can how do I put the moment here in this way, like that? This moment is this moment, same direction, 225. Now if you want to do a quick calculation, you can do summation of moments with respect to any point and calculate that moment, and you should have the same value. But you don't have to do it, and I'm not gonna do it. Certainly I'm not gonna do it right now. So this is the page number 2, and we're almost done, believe it or not, because the last one is the easiest one. The last member is this member here. So this member here is dy 27.16, and this was periodic also, and I have this 15 keep here, and then I have to transfer these values. But you see, I'm not gonna use these because then I have to retransform there and rotate them again. I can use these ones here. So this moment is gonna be acting like this, opposite to this, 225. This force Cy is gonna be acting like this. It's 27.16. And then the force, this force of 15 is gonna be acting in this other way. 15. There you go. And you have that enforced member for the last member. And that's supposed to be what? DC or CD. DC. I'm forgetting to put the values here, not the values, the letters. It's the BC. This is so crowded. Okay, BC. Now we have to start with the diagram. So let's start with the axial diagram. I'm gonna do the axial diagram here. One up. No. I'm gonna do the axial here. No, I'm gonna do the axial here because I already messed up with that. 1, 2, and 3. That's what we have. And for that, let's go back to our enforced members. Axial. Go this direction, right? This value for axial is 10. So I'm gonna go 10. In this case, axial is this one, right? Yeah, this one. So it's gonna be 8.83, And this 8.83, is gonna be constant. There's no other axial force over there. And then at the end I find this 8.83 that make it close. You see this whole bar is subject to compression, so this is gonna be compression. 8.83 compression. Now let's go to the axial in the inclined member, and this is where you're going to see a slight difference. But now once you put it like this, it's the same thing. So what is the axial here? What is the axial acting here? 17.02. 17.02. So it's gonna be like that. 17.02. 17.02. And then I find this force, which is rectangular and opposing to that one. So 17.02 minus 11.384, meaning I'm gonna end, this is gonna be constant slope, constant negative slope, like that. And then I find this other force of 5.64, closing it down right there. I told you I'm busy. 5.64. And everything is in compression. And last but not least, I already lost count how many pages are these. This is 1, 2. I'm gonna keep this with this mess. 3, and this will be the page 4. Okay, now for this one, it's just this 17.16 periodic, 27.16, 27.16. So if you use your local axis also in this direction, and why in this direction? Because what I'm doing, I'm sorry I have to go back, but I want you to have this clear. So what I'm doing you can do whatever way you feel like, but just be constant, consistent. What I do is this: my axis, my global axis are always like this, horizontal, vertical. And now when I go to the global, to the local, I just go to the member, x1, y1, and then I go in this member, starting from here, x2, y2, and then I go to this member, starting from here again, x3, y3. That's why I'm starting always from that, because I'm keeping the consistency of doing that. I'm going to the frame in this order. So if we go there, for the last one, which is this is what I was doing, I find the force of this force, 27.16 periodic, 27.16 constant. Oh my god. And come back down 27.16 close. And this is also in compression. So this is kind of the way the axial diagram will look like for this problem. Now let's do the shear and let's do the moment. And I'm going to try to, I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try to do both in the same page, because it's really worth it doing it the same page. Not only you are saving trees, but you are you have one on top of the other, which is simpler for you to see what is happening. Okay, so let's start with the shear here. Shear diagram. Where are my things? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Here you are. Okay, let's start with my shear diagram like that. Start with 10, go all the way constant and close. Start with 10, go all the way constant and close. And this is positive because we are going in this direction. Okay, now let's go to this inclined member and get that out of our system, which is this one. Starts with 3.64, 3.64, this direction. up because it's going up here. And then you find this rectangular distributed load of value 34.15, the area of that. So it's going to be 3.64 minus 34.16 is going to be a negative value here of 30.51. It's going to go like this, straight. 30.51. Positive, negative. And for this one, which is this one, we just go like this. And we say 15 constant up to the center, find the 15 and close, positive, and that's it, and continue here in 0. So A, B, C, D. Once again, A, B, C, D. So far, so good. And look, it has to be like that because this is a roller. So I'm not supposed to have any horizontal force there. Now at the moment, wait a moment, we're gonna do it here. There you go. Now let's go and fix this, solve this moment here. This support at this end, where are you, support? Here. I'm going crazy already. Well, 3 of these in a row for you guys. Of course I have to be going crazy. So this one here starts with 0 because there's no moment here. This is a pin support and there's nothing over there. And then I find this positive area, which is 100 multiplied by 20, and that's 200. It's going to be constant here, positive, constant. And then what happened at the end? What happened at the end is that you find this moment. This is a concentrated moment at the end. Look at the left. It's like that, right? The left side is going to push it down and it's going to make it close there. So this is going to be 200. Now let's go to the other part. Let's go to this inclined member. And remember, this part here is going to be a maximum, local maximum or minimum moment, maximum positive or maximum negative moment. So we're going to start here, here. We're going to start there with our values for moment, which I didn't put here, by the way. You see, I'm mad at you guys. You are not telling me. This was 200. I needed this value here of 200. So I have to start with this value. And this value, when you look at this value is pushing it up. So it's a very positive jump up, like this one. 200. 200. Positive. Both sides have to coincide. And then I find this positive area in this part. Now I need to calculate this distance and this distance. You can do a relation of triangles. I'm not gonna do it, but you can do that. Not this distance. Look. Yeah, this distance and this distance. That's correct because it's inclined. This distance and this distance, and you can do a relation of triangles and calculate it. This is gonna be 37, and this is gonna be 28.25, the distance from here to here. So if you add this area, 3.64 plus times 3.37 divided by 2, you will have 200 plus 3.64 times 3.37 divided by 2. It's going to be 206.1. 206.1. 206.1. So this is going to be, up to this point, it's going to be 206.1. Now, positive decreasing. Let's go. Positive decreasing. Please don't neglect infants, neglect dumb people instead. Positive decreasing, positive decreasing. This is positive decreasing, so positive decreasing is going to be like that. That value, remember, we just calculated 206.1. That's it. Now you have this other one, which is negative increasing. Negative increasing is that one. And the 206.1, I have to subtract this area. How much is that area? That area is 28.25. 28.25 times 30.51 divided by 2. And that's going to be negative 224.82. Imagine if I'm not doing so many roundings and I didn't get the perfect 225, because that should be 225 exactly. So then I get over there and I get negative 2.25, which is going to be somewhere over there, over the rainbow, negative 2.25. And this is going to be negative increasing. Negative increasing is this side, so negative increasing will be like that. Remember, you have to do this a little bit more up to scale. I really don't ask my students to do that at a perfect scale. I rather them knowing what they are doing and not just writing for the sake of writing. Remember, this is negative increasing, this part. And now at this point, if you check this one again, you find this moment of 225, which if you study, once again, this side is going to be pushing it up to 25 and mark it in 0. And you get that point. And the last one, guess what? Last one, I lost it. Last one, guess what? 225, negative. Yeah, of course, because this is negative. So 225, negative, pushing down on this side, right? Like that. The left side is going to be pushing it down. And then you have this positive area, which is 15 times 15, 225. So this is going to be negative, and it's going to come, and it's going to close to 0 right there. And right there meaning halfway where the load is applied. And that was, what distance is that? What distance is that? What distance is that? 15, right there. Boom. 15. And this is 0. And you know what to do now, right? Once you have that, please, this has to be the big yes in your life, because it took us like 6 pages of work, and I don't know, maybe 45, 50 minutes of video to get that yes. You want to know the worst part? We're not done yet. Why we're not done yet? Because the problem asked for well, actually the problem didn't ask for anything. But I told you what I needed, right? So I need the axial, the shear, the moment, and the deflected shape. Now the problem asks for something. That's what I need. So we need to do the deflected shape. Deflected shape, deflected shape, deflected shape. That's the original shape. It's here. This is here. And now you just check whatever is happening. Where are my markers? Here. Check whatever is happening. Remember, this here is going to be an inflection point in the slope is going to change, because this is positive moment, this is positive moment, but this is negative moment like that. And then this one here is negative moment. So if you look at that from this perspective, because it's the way it's supposed to be, this is going to be negative moment like that also. Like that. Now, this is a roller. This can move. This is a pin. It's not going to move. Can the pin rotate? Yes, of course it can rotate. In what direction? These connections are moment transfer connections. So these angles, whatever they are, which are not 60, were not 90, these angles have to be maintained kind of in the deflected shape. So basically you're going to have a rotation and this shape. Rotation and that shape. And then you go over there. Now, to maintain this angle, this has to go, once again, this is positive up to this point, let's say, and then it switches to negative. So this portion is going to be like that, and then here is going to switch to negative, like that. And because the whole thing is moving and this is not fixed, this is just gonna move also into this direction with a negative kind of shape, like that. Something like that. This is just an approximate shape. Of course, it's not gonna be a perfect shape, but give you a good idea of how this structure is moving. Finally, we're done with this problem. See you later, guys. Have a good day. Stay safe.